once again on the Big Viz Show. President and CEO, Highland Copper Company Incorporated, HDRSF is their ticker symbol. Always great to have Barry, a great son of Ireland, back with us here on the show. Barry, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Good to see you again.
Hey, I got a question for you, sir. All of this, and I know this is completely off topic and not what you guys do, but you're the copper expert. What happens to the price of copper, if anything, when we no longer have pennies?
Oh, great question.
Thank you.
When you no longer have what, sorry?
I said, what happens to the price of copper when we no longer have pennies? Or is that a myth? I mean, you're the copper guy.
I don't think that's playing into the supply and demand curve too much. Probably a few other things that are maybe more important.
Okay, I believe that. You guys are a fully permitted U.S. copper project in Michigan that's being kind of advanced as a domestic critical metals play. Talk about what you guys are up to.
Yeah, listen, I think everybody knows in the U.S. right now that there's been a long history of dependence on foreign countries for critical minerals, and that's just no longer acceptable from an energy policy perspective, from a defense policy perspective in particular. So critical minerals, and copper being one of them, need to be mined in the U.S. So yeah, listen, we're trying to assist with that. We have one of very few fully permitted projects in the U.S. As you probably know from first drill hole. It's the best part of 20 years to come into production. We happen to be at about year 16 or 17 with permits in hand, all the resource definition complete, feasibility study done, so ready to build and deliver copper into America.
Hey, Barry, so with copper being a strategically important metal right now, is that increasing even more so, I believe, because of AI and all these technological advances that are being made?
Great question.
Yeah, definitely. So as a starting point, copper is used for so many things. You think about building, construction, urbanization. Copper is just broadly used, but every day almost you're seeing new categories of demand through electrification, alternative power sources, as an example, use 5 times the amount of copper that the conventional counterparts use. And now you're stepping into AI and data centers. The scale of copper needed to support that, as well as just the broad ongoing electrification and support of the underinvested in grid. Just demand level is particularly high. And at the same time, not a lot of projects have been built, specifically domestically in the U.S. So there's just a big imbalance, and that's why we're seeing fundamentals driving a higher copper price at the moment.
Well, it's economically critical for the reasons that you mentioned, because it sits at that intersection of technology and industry, and it's also the second most conductive metal. Thank you. Cliff Clavin from Cheers, but it's the second most conductive metal, but it's cheaper than other conductive metals. But and the other issue too is that it's a boom right now. You're in the right place at the right time. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? It's been coming though. This supply demand imbalance globally was identified many years ago. It just became increasingly important in the U.S. as kind of imports candidly started to dry up. So very much right place at right time. But as you say, it's one of those long-term overnight successes. A project like ours has been worked on for the best part of 15 years.
So does that mean supply is structurally constrained in your opinion, or is supply now, because of companies like yours, starting to loosen? Which is good for companies like yours, but overall, I mean, again, you said it's a 15-year play. This is not a 2-year play.
You cannot turn supply on immediately, even in the instant that you threw capital at projects. There are multi-year permitting, design, and drilling processes. So there absolutely is a structural deficit from a supply perspective. We happen to be very advanced on that curve. But candidly, if a company today is putting the first drill hole in to define a resource, they're certainly 15 years away. So the supply side is a challenge. All projects like ours that are near dated need to be built to support the U.S.
Well, in my opinion, I think that also goes for the bull case. It's surging demand for electrification, AI. I mean, it's literally, it's almost like you invented Wi-Fi right when the internet came out. Because, I mean, you really are at the exact right place at the right time for a conductive metal, among other things. I mean, you can catch every 1.5% copper move on it by looking at the symbol FCX, but But I love looking at what you guys are doing, because I think you know, you're the outside horse that nobody's expected, and once the story goes, it's going to get crazy.
Yeah, listen, we've been putting our money where our mouth is over the past number of years. We put about 15 to 20 million into the ground on early site work. We're spending quickly on our detailed engineering, all to put ourselves in the position to be in this right place at the right time. And that's the case. I mean, copper price has been moving consistently, and I think methodically upwards to reflect the kind of fundamentals from a supply demand perspective. Spot is at 650. That's its highest in history. Long-term consensus is dramatically moving up. And of course, as you know, the economics of a project from a financial perspective are most heavily influenced by commodity price, so putting us in a very good position.
Barry O'Shea is the president, CEO, Highland Copper Company Incorporated. HDRSF is their ticker symbol. HighlandCopper.com is the website. Barry, is the United States considered copper rich, or are there other potentially richer parts of the world where you would expect to find maybe bigger sources?
There's a lot of copper in the U.S. You know, obviously out west, Arizona and Nevada has a pretty significant amount of copper. Michigan, interestingly, has been a little bit overlooked. That's where we operate. You know, there were copper mines in the early 1800s. The last one's closing down in the 1990s. There is still an incredible amount of copper in Michigan, but it's underground. It's slightly higher on the cost curve, but the commodity prices that we're seeing today are making them all economic again, and I think you're going to see some good production out of Michigan.
I think what's interesting here is to see how this plays in with other mining plays that, you know, not just your basic gold silver mining play, but the other mining plays like a tin mining play that's going to come out. I mean, I think rising tide, meaning AI and electrification, lifts all boats. So I think you guys are the right place at the right time.
Barry, quickly, we've got about 30 seconds left. What's the rest of the year looking like for you guys at Highland?
Driving our engineering forward, that's our critical path to a construction decision at the appropriate time in the second half of the year, paralleling our financing process so we can get the capital in place for a construction in 2027, and working with the federal and state governments on a range of debt, equity, and grants that are available that are driving domestic projects forward. So a lot of near-term, mid-term catalysts, and most specifically getting a project built and producing copper.
Barry, as always, appreciate the time. Barry O'Shea, President and CEO, Highland Copper Company Incorporated, HDRSF. The ticker symbol, HighlandCopper.com is the website.